This session's title included the phrase possible futures of storytelling through new technologies, and instead of trying to cover several technologies and not doing justice to any of them, it would probably be more useful to focus on one in a bit more detail, which is the incorporation of video into the publication of fiction. Now, of course, video isn't new in itself, but in the context of publishing, incorporating video around and even into the actual publication of new text-based storytelling has been perhaps a little bit more limited than it need have been, especially nowadays when shooting and distributing video is much easier than it used to be only a few years ago. So also our imminent 5G internet means longer form high definition video will soon be proliferating through many new channels. Video will also become as embeddable as images already are within publications and documents of all kinds, which will introduce beneficial opportunities for authors. So this is one of the reasons why I decided to create a video book format of each of my own titles using the same recording session that also created the title's audiobook format. Each title's resultant audiobook format is available through the usual commercial channels, so that's familiar. But if we turn to each title's video book format from the same recording session, the reasons why I'm doing this are less commercial, but for me they are just as valid. I'll screen a quick sample or two in a moment, but before I do so, in case this chimes with some writers who are listening, or in case it sparks any ideas of how this sort of thing could make a worthwhile contribution to your own output, I'll just add that I suppose there are 4 simple reasons why I've chosen to add this video book format alongside more familiar formats for existing novellas and novels of mine whose words would have remained entirely self-sufficient as just text alone. First reason is probably, and this is the nearest thing to a commercial reason, is that the resultant video book provides a ton of material for content marketing into the future. And you can snip that material up, if you like, into very short excerpts, as you'll see, of every flavour, depending on the kind of text that's in the excerpt. And secondly, even if this format doesn't become monetizable, which it may do in future, but even if it doesn't, it will remain as another format, existing for posterity as part of the output of an artistic practice that happens to be a written one, as itself, in other words, as another point of entry into the text, and as a set of assets in which I, as I am now, have presented the best things I've managed to create so far, which is these novels, for whatever they're worth, in another format that will outlive me, as the text will too, of course. And thirdly, just beneath every chapter title inside each ebook format, there'll be a discrete, unintrusive hyperlink to that chapter's video book format. That link doesn't need to be tapped, but it can be tapped. And finally, general future proofing. We don't know what forms ebooks and other kinds of publication will be consumed in 5 years, let alone 20 years. But this format, video book, will create assets that may be able to jump in early to those avenues of possibility. So here are just 3 little teasers for the moment, and we'll see if this Vimeo playlist behaves. If it doesn't, Adam will jump in and use our backup method. This is just a little snippet, first one from The Host in the Attic, which is a novella, and it's a hologram of Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, so 1 century after you people, digitized and reframed in cinematic style, set in London's Docklands in a few years' time. Just one little snippet, see if it behaves.
First, he creeps down the growing dimness of the straight stretch. Next, through thickening air, he makes a queasy, dreamlike progress around each one of the several corner turnings halfway down, which surely seem to number 1 more corner turning than they did before. How strange it is, he reflects, that he never has been able to recall exactly how many corner turnings there are. As soon as he reaches the point where he has a straight view down to the fire door, he is hit by a vision of terror. With a grating rush, the corridor walls and ceiling and floor are all made of wet-breathing grey meat, bellowing in vicious pain, impaled by a dozen twitching meat knives. The vision slams away, echoes down, and is sucked into silence in an instant. Quiet, and still again. The remaining half of the corridor stretches ahead from Jamie's feet, just as close and thickly aired as before, and dim-lit from nowhere. and now he has to carry on down it, as he knows very well. He waits a moment longer, but it's really no use, for there go his feet, yes, stepping forward down there underneath him. While he goes, he next becomes aware that he is seeing every slanted ceiling angle, every leaning wall and object, with an odd kind of floatiness. And he's also seeing all of these things from a little bit lower than his usual eye height, as if he's looking out of eyeballs that are embedded in the front and the sides of his neck, instead of embedded in his face. The wall's sallow flickering is hopeless and queasier than ever now, churning, aslant, darkly founded on an alien discomfort and disjunction. He slows as he draws near the fire door and clenches his teeth between the two dark doorways yawning on either side of him.
So that's a little sample from The Host of the Attic, as I say, a refiguring of Oscar Wilde's picture of Dorian Gray. And second, what was going to be? There.
And on her right will be a young Armenian man of maybe 21, of a dark and delicate beauty, in keeping with the silver scorpion pendant hanging at his neck, and whose glass she clinks with her own. Without warning, the Platinum Raven then turns her head further round in slow motion to face this direction, as if she can now see through the fourth wall of the barroom and across the desert to where the city of Dubai spreads out impaled by the Burj Khalifa spike. The Platinum Raven's eyes spend a few moments easing with infinitesimal precision up and down this building's 30 tiers. Then they pinpoint the Chocolate Raven's little eye-shaped dot where it leans at the rail of level 152, holding up a glass of red that's lit from within by the dust light passing through it here on the roof of tier 14. The platinum-lashed eyes stop their hunt. They focus more, and now they stare straight across, cutting clear and cool through the miles of desert in between, directly to their chocolate-lashed double's own eyes. On the wet, smooth curves of the Platinum Raven's eyes sits an identical pair of images of the Chocolate Raven herself, ever so tiny and ever so perfect, crouching in the glare of a parked car's headlights, just beyond the power station complex on the desert coast, overexposed in a light that burns her face to white, moaning in pleasure there, impaled on a man in shadow, crouching with her luscious, straight, chocolate-coloured hair across her face, until she raises her head and the hair slides away. And now her own devastating, desert-eyed perfection meets the Chocolate Raven's gaze full-on, electrifying, animal, expressionless, an icon of ecstasy and chocolate and sweat in wailing silence in the headlights as dust floats around her through the siren song behind the air.
And I think the third and final sample is about to begin automatically on this Vimeo playlist, cross fingers. This one is from Apricot Eyes.
Back home again, I sit, close my eyes and try to work out what to do. Perhaps a jaunt to West 14th Street to get relaxingly embroiled in police inquiries? No, me neither. But I want to do something here, surely. Do what though? I get ready for bed, lie back and set out to think this through. My sight drifts up and hovers over the Lower East Side, then down to float above a black tanker that's sweeping north between the high-rise projects and the East River. High smoke coils from the generating station up ahead and to the left. On the right shines the East River, jagged with reflections of white and red and yellow lights burning on deserted warehouse buildings on the far Brooklyn shore. Beside the black tanker, from a golden limousine, leaks gasoline, streaming out unseen upon the concrete. A guard dog howls somewhere, unheard by the drivers. The limousine erupts with a dull boom, swelling to a fireball of orange flecked with scarlet. Cars scatter, screeching. Regardless of the roads swerve left at East 15th Street, the ball hurtles on, hits the barrier, and bounces up and outward, raging and spinning. Through the roar of dirty flame and bursting glass, a flail of tiny hands and mouths, silent screaming, trapped in buckled metal, flash. Then they fall to the river with a crunch and hiss of steam. The dog howls again among the yellow-lit projects, while the black tanker clanks on, undaunted, up the East Side Highway towards the Bronx.